Namaskar, and welcome to the very first episode of Pilot Mentor. Here we bring to you individuals from all walks of aviation to narrate their stories. I'm your host, Ronak, a fellow aviator, chai lover, bringing you all the very interesting stories from the skies. Whether you are dreaming to be in the skies, already cruise there for a couple of hours on 35,000 feet, or want to just know what happens in aviation overall, you've landed home. Today we have somebody very, very special with us. Her name is Captain Harpreet Bains. Hello, Captain Harpreet. Welcome.
Hi, Ronald. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Captain Harpreet Bains, who flies for a leading Indian aviation company. She's a mother, she flies as a pilot, and she juggles a lot of other duties so very well. We're here to hear about what and how she landed in the place she is at today. Well, Captain Harpreet, thank you so much to begin with. Thank you very much for taking out time. I know this is your only off in the past week and the coming week.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much for sacrificing the sleep and coming here. Could you tell us and take us back about how this all started for you?
Thank you for inviting me. Actually, I come from a military background and my dad was in the Air Force. So I've grown up looking at helicopters and airplanes all around.
Okay.
So that's how my dream, basically the seed was sown.
Right.
And I actually never wanted to become anything else. I always wanted to become a pilot.
Oh.
And
okay.
Whenever someone would ask me, what do you want to be? I always said, I want to be a pilot.
Lovely.
And that's how it all started. And we have grown up actually sitting in a lot of, having parties and all. I don't know if it still happens, but I've grown up with sitting in the cockpit and not knowing what is what and just playing with the buttons and all, switches and all, everything. But it was fun, and that's how my dream started.
Oh, wonderful.
And, though there were hurdles along the way, but still, yeah.
So your dad was an Air Force pilot, like you said.
Yes.
That in itself is, a dream for a lot of aspiring people today as well.
Yes.
And so let's say your toys were replaced by the cockpit, the buttons in the cockpit.
Yes.
Those were the toys to you. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And having the environment around you, being, there in the parties, listening to the stories,
Definitely.
seeing someone wear the uniform every day, that did create subconsciously, that did build up things for you, right?
Definitely. I was in fact discussing couple of weeks back with my husband. I actually used to cycle on the runways also in
Wow.
Mohanbadi and Chabua. These were like, this is probably 30 years back or so, and Jammu also, and and now I'll be landing on these airports where
Yeah.
I've actually cycled as a kid.
Yeah.
So
So from cycling on those runways to
Yeah.
flying on those runways,
yeah,
you've come a
actually-
long way.
Yeah, true.
Wonderful,
true.
wonderful. I'm sure your dad and your mother both are really proud of you.
Definitely. And I would say the biggest inspiration and the push that I got was from my mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
in spite of your father being in the armed forces and an Air Force pilot, it was the mother.
Yeah,
Okay.
because my mom is a homemaker, but she always wanted me to do more than just stay at home and
Right.
look after the house.
Right.
Though I would not say that she's left me like not be aware of how to take care of a house or how to manage everything around the house.
That's truly hard too.
She's equipped me with that as well, how to
Yeah.
cook, how to manage a house. But she's also somewhere deep inside, she wanted me to go out there, explore the work, be independent, earn my own living, and be able to look after myself, stand on my own feet tomorrow if I need to. So she was the one who actually pushed me and said, you can do it. Yeah.
Okay, so Harpreet, it's really interesting. You need to please tell me, your father was in the Air Force and you were in commercial all throughout. Your father was early in the Air Force, he transitioned to be in commercial aviation later on. How does that happen?
So my dad was actually a helicopter pilot.
Acha.
And I am a fixed wing pilot. So he was little clueless because he did not have any information how to get me into civil aviation fixed wing.
Right.
Yeah. So he knew, he was much more aware about how to get into helicopters and what all path do I need to take. But
Right.
one thing he was very sure about was that, I was also very sure about, I did not wanted to fly helicopters. I wanted to be in fixed wing. So I did gather a lot of information from my dad's friends who were in fixed wing and in airlines. But somehow, that information gathering and being able to go for it in a certain way, I was not able to connect the two.
Right.
I did take one entrance exam, IGRUA. I was totally clueless about it because did not know where to study from or if there were any classes or as such to be able
There were
to-
hardly any, right?
No. there were-
Yeah. And there was no prescribed syllabus or
No.
nothing else such.
Nothing like that.
Right.
And so basically, so clueless about where to study from, what to study. I went for the exam, obviously did not clear because I had no idea what kind of paper was going to come.
But you're still a pilot today.
Yeah, but
You're still a pilot. So that goes a lot, that says a lot about everyone who wants to be a pilot. Captain Harpreet was not able to clear her first ever IGRUA exam, yet she sits in the place she is today. So nothing to be disheartened there, right?
Yes, definitely. And you have your own journey, so you will meet failures, but still be able to do what you want to do if you are persistent.
Yes.
And if you have to be strong-headed.
Yeah.
That this is what I want to do, and this is what I will end up doing.
Totally.
And this is my place.
Totally.
So that was there. Then we moved to Mumbai, and I actually did not know how to go about it. I did not want to take a break in between. I did know that I didn't want to sit at home for whatever time.
Yeah.
And so I got enrolled in BSc Computer Science there, and I was still, there was one exam that came up in 2003, Air India exam, which again I was clueless about what to do. But I did gather a few books, which I, based on whatever questions were asked in IGRUA, I thought those are the kind of questions they'll probably ask. Again, I did not clear. I was a little disheartened.
This is the second
exam
you have not cleared.
Yes.
And you were still not disheartened.
No, I was a little. I was like, maybe this is not what I'm meant to do,
Right.
And I took my graduation a little more seriously, that this is probably
Right.
what I was meant to do.
Right.
And got placed into big IT companies. Chose one, moved to Pune. I did finish almost a year with the company before actually realizing this is not what I want to do.
Okay.
So I really, one day I was sitting in the office and I was like, this is not what I want to do. Not that, IT jobs are not good or whatever. Anybody who wants to do it,
They're pretty rewarding.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And if you have a knack for it, definitely it is very rewarding. And it's fun, because it's something that you think of and you actually are able to write it in your own words and see it being, you see it out there.
Live in action.
Yes.
But the very fact that you were a born and bred aviator, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Right? And you were missing the whole being around and you were like, "Main kar kya rahi hu?" Like one time in your life, you say, "Main kar kya rahi hu?" Right?
Exactly. So, and I'm sure everybody who is now, doing whatever they wanted. So many people have opened up their own businesses and everything. Tried, taken a new path.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me sitting there. And I called up my dad. I was like, I want to go for my flying.
Oh.
I'm very sure. And I don't know what came to my dad. So far, he was thinking she's not very serious because he also saw I did not clear 2 exams. He said, okay, come home. We are going to send you. And that's how my whole journey of going to, going for my flying, getting into aviation started. I packed up my things the very next day and I was off.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going. I am done.
That was a eureka moment.
Yeah, it was. It was done.
Yeah.
Yahi wo time hai. Otherwise,
That
I'll not be able
happens.
to-
I personally feel that happens. It's like a calling or it's something. You know it that you have to do it. That after you pursued your flying?
Yes, actually, again, now I did not know where to go, what will happen, which school. So we found out from my upstairs neighbor had gone to US for his flying. So we asked him. I don't remember where he went though, but my dad finally decided, not we, it was him. He said, I want to send you where there's some family there. So
Okay.
my brother was staying in Vancouver at that time in Canada.
Okay.
So my dad knew that I will not be pursuing my flying in India for whatever reasons he had. And I was sent to my brother in Canada. And I was staying with him. That's how my aviation journey started. He found the school, by the way. My brother went one day and asked all the kids who were coming out of flying schools. There are, I think, 2 or 3 flying schools in that flying school, near that flying school. And he asked everybody, and then they said, this is the good one, or these are the advantages or disadvantages of our flying
Live
school.
reviews, real-time reviews, I'd say.
Yes. And then he did all the paperwork, whatever was needed from my flying school, and sent it across. I applied for visa and went. This was the first time I actually stepped out of my house, went all the way to Canada all alone. No help, nothing. I don't know how my parents let that happen.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's great they let that happen because you're sitting where you are sitting today.
Yeah.
So thanks to them for that. And of course, there's a lot of financial backing that goes into it, and a very supportive family that comes in the form of your brother as well.
Yes, definitely.
Who did not know the ABCD of flying schools, yet he went flying school to flying school, door to door,
Yeah.
and asked, students, kaun sa acha school hai for you? So that's
True.
wonderful. That's like your whole family coming in for your support.
Actually.
Yeah, it's lovely. So Harpreet, in the flying school you went to, what's your most memorable event that happened?
Actually, there are a few, but I still remember very vividly that what happened on the first day. I was told my instructor's name is Adrian, and I thought it will be a lady. It turned out to be a man, and it was quite funny. We connected. His dad was also ex-Air Force,
Oh, okay.
just like my dad. So that was a connecting point.
Huh.
And we were chatting away. Went to our aircraft. It was a Cessna 152. We both barely got into it. And we went for our first flight. I was very excited because this is actually the first time I have played in the cockpit of different aircrafts. But this is actually the first time this was going to be my cockpit for the near future. So it was very exciting. This is the first time I actually looked at the instrument panel. And I realized there are actually different kind of, gauges that give different information.
Right.
Before this, I had never noticed.
Right.
We go to the practice area and he puts me in a spin. And I was like, wow, this
That's
is
the
fun.
first flight?
Yes.
A spin?
Yes. I was so happy. I was like, wow, this is fun. And he's like, okay, something is wrong with you. Nobody is supposed to have fun.
I second that.
Nobody is supposed to have fun on their first flight, especially in a spin.
Spin.
I was like, no, this is what I was meant to do.
Right.
And that was the first flight. And I knew, yes, I made the right decision to come here. It was fun. We came back, and that's how that's one of the most memorable journeys.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Other than that, first cross country, feeling scared that, will I ever be able to find the airport to land at? Those kind of small things, I think every pilot feels that way on their first cross country.
True.
I don't know, before leaving Canada, last few flights, I felt like I was closer to God up there than anywhere else on the planet. And you feel this different connection with God when you're up there flying all alone. You feel that God is able to hear you talk to yourself or him very clearly.
Harpreet, that's really interesting. So after you came back to India, that was in 2012?
12, yes.
How was the market looking and what happened? Because you flew for a corporate.
Yes.
First.
Yes. So when I came back after finishing my flying, Kingfisher had just shut down at that time. There were no jobs for freshers. Everybody was taking all those experienced pilot. So now I was at home for good 3 years. And it seems like a lot of time. It was not very easy to sit at home. But, not losing your hope, staying strong. I did try and network with a few people, took my dad's help, suggestions. Then I found out about a job where I needed to do my own type rating, bear the cost as well. So I went to US and got type rated on Pilatus PC-12. Finally landed the job. I was flying for a corporate for good 7 years, and I had a very good time there. Enjoyed myself, picked up skills, networked, had a great social life back there. It was a small city and met a lot of lovely people there. It was a very good time of my life. I got married there, had my daughter there. It was lovely.
Harpreet, I have to ask you something else. It would be, so we all know flying does require a certain level of mental and physical fitness. What do you do for it?
So, every day around 5 or 6 o'clock, I step out of the house and, I want to go do something. Mostly I walk.
Which
or
involves
jog.
movement.
Yeah, which involves movement.
Wonderful.
When I was in the corporates, I was in a smaller town. I had more time. I was able to do more physical activities. I used to cycle or do play squash, something like that. Some physical activity was there. Jogging, walking, something like that.
So that's been a constant.
Yeah. So
Understood.
now, because of the schedule change and I'm entering an airline, I might not have evenings free, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock or whatever. But I try, and whenever I'm free or at home, I try and go for a walk or a small jog.
Okay, wonderful. And as far as mental fitness is concerned?
You need to have some kind of hobby. So for me, nowadays, that break is spending some time with my daughter. Doing something that she enjoys. We both love drawing. So we both pick up something from YouTube or some, book we read, and some pictures from the book we both draw it out.
Okay.
Kind of like a mini competition who
All right.
does it better.
Okay.
And coloring, something like that. Yeah, that is required for anybody in any kind of field. You need to have a hobby or enjoy something.
Right. Something you would like to do apart from the work you do.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
like a little mama beti party,
Yeah,
which you do.
yeah, something
Nice.
like that. Cooking, I love baking. So whenever I have a very big break and I'm in a very cheerful mood, I love baking. So I enjoy making food, passing it on to my neighbors.
Right,
because
right.
They are my biggest, critiques. Basically, they always never say something bad about my food.
Right.
They always are
Right.
pushing me, like
Right,
that,
right.
yeah.
They're happy to receive what you make for them.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I can understand.
Yeah.
I agree, and to some extent, I agree with that feeling. All right. And another thing being, you're married to a pilot yourself.
Yes.
So, how does the whole functionality aspect of a pilot couple works?
So
Sorry.
initially, when we both got married, we were in a long distance. So at that time, I did not know what it felt like to be living with someone who's already flying in the airlines because of the schedule. So I had my own schedule. I was following that. So that was totally different. Now that we are staying together and we both are in the airlines, it's quite different. There are times when we both are on the on a layover in different cities. Our daughter is alone. We actually have my mother-in-law and my mom do 15 days on, 15 days off, taking care of our daughter. And it's definitely not easy. There are exams in between, some function at school. So I have to prep in advance so that the grandparents don't have to run around. Both the parents are very nice. They're helping out all the time. During exams, it's a little troublesome for them because they have to make her sit, study for the exams. It's not easy, but yeah, I do have support.
So right. So being in the profession, it involves a lot of thinking ahead.
Yes.
In terms of family management as well. So even if you're leaving, because both of you are into flying, even if you're leaving one of the grandparents home,
Yes.
they also cannot do things the way you would like them to be done. So hence you meal prep and then, prepare her in advance and everything.
Definitely. Now that they've been doing it for so many years, they know what kind of food is to be cooked and all that. That kind of rhythm we have gotten into.
So again, it's the village which
Yeah,
is
it's the
coming
village.
to your help, and
Definitely. Without that, I think you need a good staff in your home.
right, you need good stuff.
Yeah, otherwise it's
Trustable.
very difficult. Staff, if well trained and understands the equation of your home, the kind of
Right.
food that you eat. Because see, at the end of the day, we also have to think about what kind of food we are eating
Yes, very
to stay
important.
fit and the kind of profession that we are in. So
Right.
less oil, less salt, that kind of less sugar. So you have to train your staff that way.
Right.
So luckily we've been blessed with a good staff who helps us. And also with the age, your parents who are helping you, they are also not able to do as much.
Right.
So they also need help from the staff as well.
Right, and I'm glad you're blessed with the good people around you to take care of you. I hope that streak continues. One thing is that your daughter, how does she feel about her mother being in an unconventional profession? You're a pilot,
Yes.
which, and I'm sure there's a certain amount of pride she feels, or when she goes to school, how does she introduce you, or how does she look at you when you're putting on your uniform? There is a difference, I feel.
Actually, strangely, she doesn't feel that because she's grown up seeing me dress up in a uniform and walk out of the house. So for her, had she been a certain age and then gotten into this profession, would have been different. But for her, mama is a pilot, and a pilot can be a mama also. For her, there's no difference. So she doesn't realize, maybe she's a bit older, her friends probably will say, wow, your mom is a pilot. Then she'll feel that, okay, something is different about my mom being a pilot. But right now,
Not
she
yet.
doesn't. No, she doesn't.
And also, maybe she feels perhaps the roles can be done together. You do them so beautifully and they're amalgamated.
Yeah, could
So
be.
maybe she feels no difference.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a little switch in her. Like when earlier in corporates, I had more time to spend with her.
Right.
But now I do spend a little less time with her. But that change a little bit was difficult for her because I would now go at different time of the day, different hours. Sometimes I won't be here for 2 days.
Right.
So that was a little adjustment she had to do.
Right. This leads me to my other question, which is when you see your daughter after a couple of days, when you have been gone for a while for a layover for work,
Yeah.
especially, it's not holiday, it's not personal commitment I'm talking about, especially for work, when you return home, how does she react?
So that also has been a little different for her because she is so used to having us over all the time. So when we walk in, initially she was in shock that 2 days are over. Oh my God, my parents are home. So she didn't know how to react. She would go in a little state of shock. Now she comes back home. When we come back home, she runs to you and says, I'm so glad you're here. I missed you. But earlier she used to go into shock that my parents are back. Where were they gone? Like kind of that. So, it has been a little different for her.
Right.
It is little difficult to be far away and see how things are being managed, but both our parents do it beautifully. So we are more relaxed when we are on a layover as well. It's not very difficult.
Right.
Because we know they have been doing it for so long and they
So
do it beautifully. Yeah.
Right. So thanks to them, and I'm sure they do it well. Knowing you, I'm sure they do it very well. And how do you feel? Like, for example, I'm sure your daughter's feeling a certain set of emotions when you're away and when you come back, etc. But when you're out there flying and she has an exam, or when you're in the cockpit, what kind of focus does that require from you?
So, every parent is worried when there are exams or anything different, school function, whether they dressed her properly or not. Was she dressed?
Exactly. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I would like to say something personally. When I was a child and I had my exams, my mom was working as well.
Yeah.
All I asked of her was during my exams is please don't go to work.
Yeah.
She was like, why shouldn't I go to work? You can study on your own. You have tuitions and I'm not the one teaching you anything. I said, just be around. Just be around, just be in the house, and I'll do whatever I have to do on my own. Just be around. So, hence, I ask you, she must be feeling something else, and you out there just, doing your duties in the cockpit with utmost attention. How does that go down?
So she does ask me the same thing, that I want you to stay here. I want you to teach me, because so far in her life, I was with her.
You've been tutoring her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do trust both our parents to do a good job. I try and revise with her before, whenever I'm at home, before leaving for a layover or for my flight before her exam. She's gotten used to it, but as a parent, yeah, you always feel a little anxious because as they grow older, my main concern with exams is whatever information that is there in the syllabus, is she able to retain and produce it?
Right.
That's it. I just want her to have a better understanding. Doesn't matter if she scored 50 out of 50 or not. Whatever was taught to her, has she understood it and be able to, reproduce it?
Right. And how does that impact you, like I said, in the cockpit?
So when I am flying, I'm flying. I am not thinking about my house anymore. I'm not thinking about anything else. When I'm in the cockpit, I'm only concerned about my work and I'm very concentrated. So there's one switch in my brain. I think it flips and I cannot think about anything.
You compartmentalize really well.
I guess so. It's just naturally comes to me. When I'm in the cockpit, I'm just thinking about my work and I'm not thinking about, maybe it also, I feel, is because of the parents' help back home. Maybe if someone doesn't have that kind of support, they might bring their work and,
to home or home to work.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
So thanks to parents.
So it's again back to the parents.
Yeah. Because of their support, I'm able to flip that switch and go back to work and not think about home and come back from work and flip that switch and be with my family.
I'm glad. I so wish that most of us, or at least a few of us, could have had that comfort. That is an amazing thing. That number one, you have that support, and number B, you have that switch and the ability to switch on, zone in or zone out.
Definitely.
Last question being, I know there's been a lot of talking, but last question, who has been your role model?
My father, definitely. And also, I wouldn't particularly say it's just one person, my mother and my brother as well. Okay, he was the one who used to put me to bed. He and I have 11-year gap. He used to put me to bed telling me about space. Think you are in space, you're floating in the space,
Oh, wow.
Sometimes. So basically, always thinking of flying as well while going to sleep. So that kind of a thing. Dad, obviously being a pilot, always discipline. I have got a lot of discipline from him just by observing and a lot of good habits, running, reading books from him. And my mother overall being so headstrong, managing home, managing us, and being a great grandmother, all these things.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So Harpreet, would you like to tell us something about the kind of flying that happened in the corporate you were? And what's the difference? Like, I feel often the terms corporate and charter are confused.
So, with the corporates, it's basically you flying a particular company's management.
Oh, okay.
So, you are flying with them whenever they want to go somewhere for a meeting or probably any other place they want to go to. Usually, are going to smaller airfields.
Right.
But in my case, my aircraft used to fly to nearby bigger airports or take the executives to places where they had meetings.
So these are high-ranking officials with undecided meeting timings in smaller cities where they do not have a particular reach for the commercial traffic.
Yes.
Right? So hence the need for corporate.
Yes.
And obviously the roster and the schedule must be wide open as well.
Yes. So basically you have to be available. You would come to know where you're going a day before. And we had a small team, not that small also, but we were 5 of us on 2 different aircrafts.
5 pilots for 2 aircrafts.
Yeah.
That offered you a good amount of on and off time, right?
Yeah. So
wonderful.
We did have, good amount of leaves you could take. You could adjust between the team members. Like, I want to go at this time of the year. And we would all make adjustments for the other person. Someone has to go last minute, we would make adjustments. So, that comes with a smaller company and a smaller team. You are there for each other.
Yeah, those are the perks.
Yes.
Like you know everyone by name instead of just staff ID.
Definitely.
You can make adjustments. Wonderful. Thereafter, you spent quite a while there. Thereafter, you moved to the current leading Indian carrier you are with. How did that transition happen?
So, I did plan on leaving in between. First, I had my daughter, so I couldn't leave at that time. Then the second time that I wanted to leave, COVID hit. So I couldn't leave because I had a stable job as compared. And so once COVID went away, I knew somewhere deep down inside that if I did not leave now, it would never happen.
Right.
So after leaving, I was at home for good 6 months before deciding that I'll be doing my own typewriting.
Mm-hmm.
Went for it. And the last day of my typewriting, before my IR check, there was a vacancy in the leading airline. I had just that IR check to be done, and then I filled my whatever requirements were there. I filled that, and I was able to get into that neck and neck,
Right.
and it was like God had planned everything to fall into place.
Right. Wonderful. That's so wonderful to hear. So, the typewriting on the PC-12 and now the 320s were both sponsored by yourself.
Yes.
Right. And you're a mother. Like, let's talk a little holistically now.
Yeah.
The comprehensive picture.
Okay.
Apart from flying, it's been a fairly good journey.
Yeah.
You're a mother, and then you have a family in aviation now. So how
Yes.
does that work? I mean,
So I did meet my husband when I was flying. We were both in the same flying school.
Mm.
We got married when I was initially joining my corporate workspace. We did get married. I had my daughter 3 years into our marriage. Motherhood and any working professional, it's not easy. Definitely takes a lot of on your part to juggle. Luckily, I had support of my parents, and my mom has been there with me since day one. She's been there, really, truly been there. I think my daughter loves her more than me. So, yeah, it's not easy being
so it takes
mom.
a village, and you had that village with
Definitely,
you.
I did.
And a decent support from your spouse as well.
Yeah. We were in a long distance, so I feel bad for him because he's missed out on a lot of my daughter's growing years. That was also one of the reasons that why I wanted to shift from corporates and start living, because I was staying away from big cities. So I wanted to, at least be able to live in the same city so that at least he can get to see our daughter growing up.
And now, because you both fly for a leading carrier, he does and you do, that gives you a chance to live in a city together and bring up your daughter.
Yes.
So I think that's very beneficial that you both have the same base appointed as well. So
Definitely.
that's wonderful. That's a wonderful way that you're flying for this commercial airline as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been beneficial for you.
Yes. But
All right.
definitely, I had more time on my hand when I was flying corporates to
Right.
be able to, raise my daughter. Now I do have, I need more help basically. I need more help from my parents now
Right.
than I did before.
Right.
Because schedules are little, it can be a night flight, day flight, you can be out of the city for
A
layover. So you need more help now.
And would you, as a parting message, would you wish for this career, or would you wish for more women to join aviation and Indian aviation as such and try their luck here?
Yeah, why not? Everybody should, if you have a dream to be a pilot, it doesn't matter whether you're a girl or a boy, go for it, and definitely you need support. As you progress in your career, when you start looking for a spouse, the better half, you will have to find someone who is able to understand you. It doesn't have to be from the same industry. If it is someone else, they need to be able to understand what your day-to-day is, right? It could be night flying today, it could be a layover, whatever it is. So they need to be able to adjust with that.
Right.
And not just that, then you need a village, like you said. You need a village to
Definitely.
raise your kids or make your family, expand your family. So it's not going to be easy. So,
Right.
but if it's your dream and you want to pursue it, then go for it.
Right.
It's a very good industry to be in. You feel so happy.
And you feel
Person-
respected.
Yeah, you feel
The
respected.
respect, yeah.
Other than that, also in the cockpit, you just feel like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful place to be.
Right.
Not every day is the same, weather changes or something or the other happens. Nothing is the same. It's the same aircraft, but outside it's not.
Right. Like you said, it's challenging in a very good way. You feel more connected and you feel empowered.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Captain Harpreet, a little rapid fire, really quick 5 questions. Say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Done.
Any ritual before you go?
I
flying?
listen to Japji Sahib every day.
Okay, that's before you go for a flight?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful. Dream aircraft?
A380.
Airbus 380, thank you. Favorite aviation movie?
Top Gun, and not because of the cliche. I like it because of Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, there we. And the favorite passenger or a favorite set of passengers you've ever had?
Kids, they say, ask the cutest questions.
Right, okay, all right. And what would be a bad landing excuse if you had one?
ये क्या था?
Okay, thank you. So, Captain Harpreet, had there been an aid which would have helped you reach the goal of becoming a pilot and sustaining in aviation faster and easier, what would that have been?
I think, some kind of a mentorship, some kind of guidance as to what kind of courses are available, what kind of flying schools are available, what is the structure like, what kind of, grooming I can get. Where am I lacking? If someone would have guided me in that way, it would have been better. I would have been in the industry in a quicker manner.
Mhm.
Not wasted my time as to decide and where to go, what to do, what next. Proper kind of a sequential
A
course.
comprehensive
kind of
step-by-step information.
yeah, first step this, second this, third this. All that should have been there. That would have helped me achieve my goals faster.
Right, right. So, thank you so much, Captain Harpreet. It was wonderful
Thank
talking
you.
to you. Thank you. It was truly, truly a delight. Thank you.
Thank you for having
So,
me.
thank you. For all the aspiring pilots out there, you may reach out to us for such information at Pilot Mentor and more. If you have queries, please like, comment, and let us know how we can help you in your journey to be a successful pilot. Shout out to Liftoff Media for the great studio and team. See you soon with more such stories.